In the early 80s, I was in the original Broadway production of Cats. I was dubbed the Acro Cat. I got a call from the stage door. I kind of said, well, I'm sitting here with a face full of makeup, I'm wearing a leotard, you better get to the point quickly. He said, well, I think you've either just had a heart attack or you're about ready to have one. My name is Bob Hoshour. I was in the original production of Cats on Broadway, and I had a heart transplant. My favorite part of any checkup is when I have the echocardiogram, because I get to see this beautiful thing working. It is just, to me, so magical.
Wow.
Amazing.
It is.
To hear you're about ready to have a heart attack, I literally laughed at the doctor saying, you know, I feel great, I've got a show to do.
That is very common in young and fit people because the rest of the body compensates for an abnormal heart function. At some point, their body's compensation fails. What he was diagnosed with is ARVD. The heart is like a house. There are 2 rooms on the top and 2 rooms on the bottom. The right ventricle is really not working very well. This scar tissue and fat replaces the muscle. It can cause irregular heartbeat that can make you pass out, and it can even cause somebody to die.
In 2016, I was forced to confront it. Got to NewYork-Presbyterian, Weill Cornell. I distinctly remember my wife saying to me, "Don't you die here. I don't want to be a widow."
He needed to be defibrillated, meaning his heart needed to be shocked into normal rhythm.
You know, due to what those doctors and those paramedics did, I lasted that night. And the next morning, a doctor walked in and introduced herself as Dr. Sobel, and she told me that she was my heart failure specialist. I went from being extremely active. Overnight, I turned into an old man. I had no energy. Everything was an effort. And the hardest part of all of that is what your mind goes through. To think that this body that I moved with all my life, I relied on for everything, could fail. Who'd have thought? A week, maybe 10 days, and then I was sent home. Shortly thereafter, Dr. Sobel said, "I think you're a perfect candidate for a heart transplant." One of the requirements of being on the list with New York Presbyterian Hospital is that you go once a month to a heart transplant support group. Being there and sharing space with people and knowing you're not alone, that is so phenomenal.
He developed more irregular heartbeat. This elevated him for receiving a heart very, very quickly, because at that point, our assessment was that he only really had probably days to weeks to live.
When I checked into the New York Presbyterian Hospital, it was an open-ended visit to wait for a heart. I have this picture of myself and my kid on the top of Half Dome with my hands in the air, like I lived that moment every night, knowing that is what I will be doing again. It was the day after Father's Day, and I remember taking the phone, and a voice at the other end said, "I'd like to offer you a heart. It's a good heart. Do you want to accept it?" I said, "Yes, I am ready to accept this." From there on, it was pretty wild. People coming in and out and prepping. I woke up. I did notice right off the bat that there was a beat, that there was a heartbeat. That was very noticeable. I was out of the hospital within 10 days. In the weeks thereafter, you could not have stopped me. As far as hiking goes, I hiked up something called Tom's Thumb, cried like a baby. You know, yes, I am back to more than what I could do before. I have gotten my life back. Dr. Sobel and I had this running joke about how awful her title was. Heart failure specialist. I said, your new title is going to be Dr. Tender Heart.
It's really a testament to why we do this job, but it's so special to see Bob healthy and thriving. It's just indescribable.
Anything I want to do now, I can do because of this wonderful gift. A donor who I've never met decided to pay it forward to allow this transformation to happen. Everything I do is with gratitude, because I have to consider myself moving forward not as me, but as a we.